After a few more bouts in the dueling hall and an interesting conversation, you were finally able to meet with Orway and descend below Arcanist's surface. Skillfully bypassing the hordes of undead currently swarming around the halls of artifice, around an arcane reactor in the basin underneath, you just managed to slip by a Nightwalker, likely attracted by the sheer amount of necromantic magic. You continued unseen to arrive at a chamber far below the surface of the city, where a construct, a compatriot of Orvaith, greeted you. For a few moments, you discussed a seemingly hidden discontent among some of the wizards, before the subject changed to a far more pressing matter, the Dominion. Orvaith listed a few names of Dominion members, ones that he had overheard through intercepted communications. He revealed he was partially to blame for the Academy's botched destruction, that his means of intercepting the communications had in fact been sequestered away from prying eyes in the Academy's observatory. Then Orvaith led you into a reconstructed memory of a structure once found long ago in the ruins of a city far beneath where Polythreme now stands. The structure was, of course, familiar, an almost exact copy of the one you had discovered before in the underground. This structure, too, seemed to have been a refuge and eventual tomb of whatever sought to survive in the Silver Spheres, linked with the Dominion. The most notable difference of this refuge was that the sphere its center was ruined, partially missing, and colossal. Orvaith urged you to find the wizard Adivir Boltzmann, who, together with then Archmage Sebek, first discovered the refuge under. He also implored you to visit the ruins themselves in order to find out what the Archon's connection to that refuge was, and why some of the silver found itself in the Archon's hands. He ended the session as you were about to use your golden tickets in order to return to your quarter, and after a very long day, turn in for the night. This is where we start today's session. Is this still your plan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But no.
Yes, Winona. And I'm Winona's rider.
Nice. Obviously.
You use your golden tickets, and with a instant flash, similar to the way the transportation circle moved you from one space to the next, you are back in your quarter.
Did Orvaith come along? Or is it just us?
Orvaith, as you transport, did not transport with you.
Okay.
Currently you are alone.
As alone as one can be at this place, I guess. Probably
Yeah.
someone is always listening.
Yes, I shall put up the mansion's door.
Where do you put the door? Anywhere in particular, or?
Right there on that wall.
Okay.
And it's been a pretty long day. So I suppose we'll think about all that nonsense overnight.
Yeah, makes sense.
As you're headed into the mansion, as you are headed off to bed,
Oh, I'll leave the door open for Vidar, I guess. See, he might stop by after he gets done with Bacala, right?
Mhm.
Maybe.
Evelyn storms past you into the mansion and off to her room. You see her beelining for it, clearly fuming still. On her way, you see her forcefully grab a handful of bottles off of the counter with a loud clinking. Before, a few seconds later, rounding the corner, you hear the door to her room slam shut. Red, of course, as a very diligent butler, with everything that's happened since your arrival, you probably never forgot, but it may have slipped your mind. On the premise that the longer days in Arcanus passed in the same time frame as the days outside of it, tomorrow is a day of a lot of meaning to Evelyn, because tomorrow would be the first day of winter.
I'll deal with that in the morning.
And she has good reason to be so annoyed by these guys.
Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah. I'll actually take a few notes on everything we just heard.
Mhm.
I guess I'm gonna sit
Out of
next to him
curiosity,
and draw.
Alvan,
Yeah.
can you see this token?
Oh, let me check. I can see it, and I can also
Okay.
see the picture on the token when I
Yeah, that's
make
what
it
I was wondering.
make it taller. Nice.
It only took me 5 sessions or so to remember.
Well, I mean, it's weird because sometimes it just disappears. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like
We'll
you
see.
fixed it
Maybe
once
it
and then it
stays this
disappeared after
time.
a while again. It's weird. But now it's fixed. But yeah, I'm just gonna sit next to Red or on the opposite side of the table and start start making drawings. Quite a few of
Mhm.
them of this whole place, just getting all the impressions I made here and trying to put them in paper.
It's good. Is there anything else anyone does before you are headed off for a long rest?
Yeah, I'm gonna feed my friend Saxley
Mm-hmm.
yet again before we go to bed. But that's all I would do, I think.
Huxley has is setting up like a tea party with all the animals we've been collecting, all the pets,
Amazing.
trying to feed
Is the mule
strange
there
things to, yeah, the mule, Huxley, Haley.
Does
So
the
the-
mule even eat something? The mule is just
Well,
probably...
you know what Suxley eats. If there's anything liquid that's not blood you offer Suxley, it does in fact drink that too. The mule refuses any food that isn't coins.
Yeah, it just eats platinum coins, one a day or something.
And the book happily chomps away at literally anything you put in its mouth. Though most of it, of course, does not exactly vanish, but just sort of fall out to the side.
Haley.
Huxley just does experiments that lead nowhere, trying to feed something to Haley and then taking the scraps, feeding it to the horse. Just you know.
Do you ever feed anything metal to Hillel?
Don't. I don't think I have anything metal at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the mansion has a lot of stuff that just reappears if you like use it, right?
Yeah,
There is definitely, you know,
You could feed it some
forks,
spoons or
knives,
whatnot. Yeah.
maybe even smaller metal plates are probably available as well.
yeah. I guess you would go around like collecting things. Yeah, so probably some spoon.
You can
or
tell that
something.
as you feed Hillel metal, it takes a lot longer. It's almost more of a grinding than a shredding process in that case. But eventually you get this very fine metal powder that just sort of builds these tiny mounds out to the sides of the mouth. And if you try to feed those to the mule, you can tell that as it sort of sucks in this dust of metal, it does not come back out.
What does it mean?
Yeah, Hux is just doing that without really I guess would take note of the results, but not
Okay.
write it down or anything.
Then, as you all settle in for the night in your respective rooms and go to sleep, you all have a long rest. As you awaken the next morning, you all awaken in a strange mood. You don't feel tired anymore. You also don't really feel like you had an amazing rest. You simply lie in bed and open your eyes. Awake. You feel almost like you had simply skipped to the next day, as if teleported through time, and you're fairly certain you didn't have a dream.
But weird.
As one by one the doors of the mansion open and all of you begin to make your way outside, Evelyn's door remains closed.
Even sleeping is weird in this place.
I think what I said about dreams might have been overheard. Maybe.
Probably. Didn't think it would also like reach into this place. Whatever they did.
Yeah, I mean, this place, it's not like it's... yeah, I mean, it's still kind of there, but not. But like, it's like folded.
Yeah, Selene just nods, has no idea what you mean.
Hux like, what?
It's like I stretched out and folded that wall, if that makes sense. It kind of...
That makes no sense.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not a wizard, so, you know, I don't know. Anyway, have you any of you seen or heard from Vidar yet?
Nope.
Okay, hang on.
It was like I closed my eyes and opened my eyes. That's how the night went. Nothing
Yeah, no,
else
me too.
happened.
It's weird. Vidar! Oh,
Yeah, as
Vidar.
you peek your head out of the mansion, you see Vidar sitting in the common room.
Is it Vidar or Vidar?
Well, currently He sits there, arms crossed, eyes closed, but he definitely no longer exudes this aura of cold. So it's likely he has dispelled the simulacrum. He does look up as you step outside. And as he turns, the first thing you hear is a loud snore from the residence's anteroom to the left.
Ah, Bacala's back. How was last night?
Things went rather smoothly yesterday. The Archon relented relatively quickly. Perhaps unsurprisingly, he seems to care little for what goes on outside Arcanus. I had to press some uncomfortable subjects just so the Archon remained distracted during your quick venture. And don't worry, I know all about it already,
Oh yeah, you were there.
in a way. Were there any things you still had to do before you left? I remember transmutation had interest in the wild magic, but if you aren't, then we need not hold up for it.
I mean, that's kind of toxic. I doubt that we're gonna see much of Evelyn today. So, I mean, yeah, it's
Is that
mostly...
so?
I somewhat doubt it.
Orvaith told me you had already arranged for a transport location.
Yeah, did you remember what the city...
His
Do we-
eyes wander over to Soleil.
Yeah. Do we know the name of that city?
I know the what the government in that place is called. Like it was like the Kanate or something.
The Khanate.
Karnat, Karnat,
Like the Khan. The Khan.
Karnat. Okay, but it's not really the name of the place, right? It's just the form
No.
of government.
You have this distinct feeling, you have images, you know sort of the exact coordinates.
Yeah, I just know the place.
The place where she was, at least at that moment. But you have no info as to the name of the city, or if there is a city, it could be out in the wilderness.
Yeah. Back when I saw her in like the vision I had, were there like multiple buildings and whatnot? I just remember there were a lot of people.
The
Like
first time, or I don't know
Caravan.
if it was the first time, one of the first times you had gone into the slip, you remember a market. There were definitely buildings around
Yeah.
you. There were people.
so I feel like it's like some kind of place. But yeah, I have the coordinates. I don't need a name.
Yeah. I mean, I was just curious if we did.
I mean, we could always ask Vidar which place it is. I can show it on the map. You might know, Vidar.
Yeah. True.
We do have a
other
map,
than-
right?
You probably would have a map. Yes.
Oh, I guess I would, like, whoever has the map, I would tell them to take it out, or if I had it, I would take it out and would just point on the map for Vidar. It's like somewhere, I think it was here, right? Or something.
Exactly.
Oh, down there,
Oops,
okay.
no, that's a little bit too like.
that.
Okay,
Arcane, maybe?
basically in the middle of the frickin'
Hmm.
billion rivers.
Not quite in the yeah.
This is also weird. It's
And
like,
we're like, I think we're like, over here is where the, his shadow.
Yeah. Somewhere in this vicinity.
Somewhere in there, yeah. It's not that.
Oh,
far.
where the academy was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be actually around
Oh,
here.
okay.
Oh.
That far east.
Which is not
Okay.
that far of a distance, to be honest.
Okay. I knew we were like over water, but I didn't.
Yeah, I knew we were east of Antok Arc somewhere. Okay.
Fairly far east, but pretty much within distance of our route anyways.
I don't think there's too much blight in between here and there. Looks like
I'm
maybe.
familiar with the port city nearby, but I'm unfamiliar with the cities further into the delta.
Where exactly is our goal on the map? Where we have to go next after we took care of this Lorana thing?
Well,
We have absolutely no idea where Boltzmann is.
Yeah. True. I mean,
finding
we know
him
where...
is going to be quite the undertaking. I suppose our immediate next goal would be to return to Polythreme.
Also,
There is something we can do underneath,
Right? Yeah, we have the.
and perhaps it'll help us follow in Boltzmann's footsteps.
Also, we have
Otherwise-
seen Boltzmann's laboratory, right? Where he worked before in the Archaon thingy,
No,
where we fought against the slimy thing.
at least not while I was there. Oh, the surgical theater.
Yeah.
No, Boltzmann was more of a theoretical experimenter.
Okay. Oh no, we just found books that mentioned, or like some scripture that mentioned Boltzmann, but it wasn't his, right? Okay, yeah. I remember we heard the name there, but it was just in someone like referred to it like, oh, Boltzmann said this and that, and I have another theory or something, and it wasn't really okay because I was like, there is
Boltzmann
magic that finds
was-
people.
Was a researcher then. Delved into the very nature of existence of things. When the blight first turned up, being so altering to existence around him, of course it caught his interest. So it became his main subject of study. When the Archaon split from Polythreme, he was one of the first wizards to leave. At the time, he did so as a arrangement of sorts. He still received research funds, research material. Of course, as time went on, especially as Arcanus came into existence, it seems this connection has faded largely. He'll be out there still somewhere in his research. Finding him is going to be difficult.
Like, isn't there someone that like was close to him or knew him or something that worked with him? Because I feel
His
like there is
work?
magic that is someone that has like his favorite pen or whatnot, and I could like kind of find him with the magic.
Maybe his work
I-
kind of reminds me of Reginald's in the sense of observing the unobserved and somewhat existential.
There is an idea. Perhaps Reginald does know something. I am intimately familiar with Boltzmann. Finding him through a spell like that would not be a problem, provided he is not currently, which I unfortunately am going to assume, somewhere within the blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Vladimir has always been very hands-on.
Well, for today, at the very least, Huxley, do you want to get experimented on by transmutation?
It's just shrugs.
It might be helpful. I don't want to say it will be.
Sure.
Like, it's totally okay. Like, you just, I don't care at all. It's just totally up to you.
If you want to find out something about you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Sounds like we
let's
would
go.
do that before we leave.
I guess we're doing that.
In the
yeah.
meantime, I'll get the ship ready.
Perfect.
When you're done, just return here and I'll bring you to the shipyard.
Easy enough.
Alright.
We'll leave the door up. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be up. Leads the way, Huxley.
Does Evelyn require to be moved?
No, she's not. Well. No, I'll take care of that if it needs to happen.
Of course.
Nice. Okay, I know that. Alright, listen, I know out of character, but in character, is that like an insight? Is Evelyn into Vidar? I don't know.
That is difficult to say, to insight without Evelyn there.
Yeah. No, it's fine, I'll take care of it.
Hey, Bacala. Gonna see if she awakes.
She does awaken and she is staring daggers.
Wanna ride with us just before we leave? Gonna check out something in the city?
I was hoping to catch up on more sleep. You hear the slot crack as you see her sort of move her back.
Do you feel like you've been sleeping soundly?
Not if you lot keep yapping.
Alright. Yeah, fair enough.
Why are you so tired? Have you been dueling too?
I don't like being here.
Well, same. And I just pass her and leave.
Okay. You head out, and for the moment you are headed towards transmutation. Anything you do before that?
Soleil will ask Red and Huxley to jump on Winona with him, so they can be quicker.
Okay, I mean, it'll be a little tight, but like, just...
Run, Winona, run!
You hop onto the mule and it starts sprinting. It's extremely fast. It's a similar experience to riding on the broom, except it feels a lot more dangerous, as on the ground you see the mule just dodging past larger constructs on the same road. passing by other mules, wizards, and a lot of large constructs carrying very heavy crates. The mule you're riding on ducks and weaves past them, speeding along to transmutation. As you arrive, there is already a familiar face. The demi-mage that had greeted you before, standing outside. As you arrive, you see that while she looked deep in thought as she sees you sort of speeding towards transmutation, her face curls into a slight smile. Do you let the mule slow down on its own, or do you come to a sudden stop?
I want to make it like a super sudden stop that is just like put like full going on brake on the car, like just before we reach her, like just.
Okay. The second you sort of feel the mule begin to slow down, you instant keep the reins on full speed and then stop. There's this screech as its metal feet skirt along the ground as it travels a good 20 feet further, coming to a very sudden halt.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Amazing.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I see you've acquired one of the mules.
Just makes sense, right? Having one of these. Pretty
They're a
nifty.
great means of transportation.
Also good for running away from the blight.
Oh yeah. This one's
Possibly.
fast.
Were you here for the... Her gaze wanders to Huxley. Experiment.
Huxley, this is where you negotiate for you. Yes, I'm here, and
I'm here
What does
and
this
I wanna be
experiment
paid
involve?
50,000 gold and stuff.
yeah, exactly.
Do you say that to Huxley?
Yeah, I'm just saying
Yeah.
that too. Huxley right in front of this person.
I'm here to get 50,000 gold.
What? Alright.
I'm afraid we may not have that much funding available for reallocation. Perhaps we could come to a more mutual agreement, as we, of course, are going to learn some of your condition. We could perhaps make something that would help control said condition.
Oh, that sounds kinda great, Hux.
Yeah, he was turning to Shillay and Rhett.
You also should probably ask what they are gonna do.
What are you gonna do?
Right, well, the idea is as follows. You've seen one of our experimentation chambers. We are going to flood it with an amount of wild magic and put you into a increased adrenaline scenario, which will hopefully let your condition escalate in a way that we can get some good readings on it,
I don't
find
know.
the source, its details.
Huxley doesn't scare easy. The nerves of steel, basically.
I mean, you can make Hux
Right.
very angry very quickly if if
Oh,
that
yeah, right,
also
that's
helps.
Well, that'll certainly be a high stress scenario which we are seeking.
Cool. I think you can do this, Hux. Is
Yeah.
it gonna be
Sometimes
dangerous? Is it like
rocks.
a contained thing where you always have everything under control, or is it like let's just see what happens?
It is very contained and there will be no danger to life.
Yeah, then you should totally do it, Hux. Just imagine you can like control more of your cool powers.
It gets kind of nods and like gets off the horse.
Or
Right.
maybe they can bottle. Wait, so you're going to flood it with wild. You just have wild magic like in bottles?
Not quite. There is a conduit in the chamber which has a connection to the elemental chaos where we believe wild magic originates from. Part of today's experiments is to prove this hypothesis.
Maybe they could give you more Huxley. And
That would also be a possibility.
There's yeah. Okay. So, what do I have to do?
Well, if you would follow me to the chamber, and the rest of you may also follow. There is a observation deck, as you might already know.
All right.
yeah,
She leads you down a long metal corridor and into the large chamber that you'd seen before. It's been cleaned up, clearly, as last time it was covered in soot after the curse had been cleared from Huxley. But the heavy metal walls are still somewhat imposing.
All right. I
For
guess I'm
those of
gonna
you
go to the deck.
spectating just through the door on the other side, you can look through that dome up there.
Is Wino not gonna fit
Is
in there?
everything prepared? Just about ready. Alright, route the activation sequence to the observation deck, please, and I think it is high time we leave the chamber.
wait, do you need Death Ward? Oh, crap. Forgot to ask him. They'll be fine, right?
Yeah, it was. I mean, they said it was highly contained and whatnot, and no threat to life, so
Yeah.
it should be fine.
So,
Nothing's big.
is there anything you need to do to get ready, or are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Very good. You see her cast Death Ward on you and leave the chamber.
I guess Huxley rage. I think for
you
Huxley,
please roll me initiative?
second. I think for Huxley, it's raging is less being angry and more like getting really focused. Initiative. I guess. Do I have my shield out?
Yeah,
Like,
you could
I guess
have
I wouldn't be
anything
like-
prepared that you would want at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have my shield. 9.
Look at that. It's a roll-off. Roll me a d20! No. I feel like you've got this one. That's a 1.
5.
Immediately you feel this heat from the construct in front of you. You see it light up the runes along its sides and even sort of the gaps within its sort of clockwork construction begin to flash different lines moving in and out of one another. There's this just maelstrom of different colors that passes by. And this heat you also sort of feel in your own chest. Not from outside, but from inside. And you start.
And I'm meant to fight it. Like, or I guess he's like.
You weren't exactly told, but with the thing starting to move, it does certainly look like it.
Yeah. I guess just run towards it.
As you rage, you roll a d8, Ryan.
Yes.
Can you roll me 3d8?
Oof.
Each one of
5,
those
6,
effects
8.
trigger.
Okay. Let me check.
Is the thing soundproof, Beggar? Or do we hear what happens behind the glass?
You hear things somewhat muffled, almost as if it's not directly transmitted through this dome, but through a channel somewhere else.
Soleil's gonna try
You
and
hear it-
cheer up.
Basically, you hear it in mono.
Okay. Yeah, Soleil's gonna try and cheer cheer for Hux. You got this! I believe in you!
As you shout in the chamber, Huxley definitely hear this and then just echoing throughout the walls. Somewhat definitely louder than Soleil's probably shouting.
Okay, so a force field of multicolored protective lights appears around Huxley, and bolts of light shoot from his chest. So whenever someone hits me, they take a d6 force damage. I gain a +1 to AC, and I can use a bonus action to shoot them for radiant damage. So they have to make a con save for that.
Right now?
Yeah. It's when it's triggers and then as a bonus action.
Con, that is a 15.
15, I think that fails. Yeah, that fails, so it takes d6. 1 radiant damage, and it is blinded. If it can be blinded. And then I guess 2 attacks. And not 20.
Damn, okay.
And a 27.
All of those hit.
That is 50. 1.
Mm-hmm.
From both like combined. 51 magical piercing damage. And that is my turn.
You slam against the slag, and there is a definite crack as the shielding of the construct seems to slowly crack. As you hit it, there is this quick cycling of these colors that course through it until it sets on one color. The color it currently is set on is an icy cold, and almost immediately as it starts swinging towards you, there's also this fountain blast from its chest of this cold white blue energy, and I don't think it actually really matters, the cone. Could you give me a DC 20 Dex saving throw?
It's an effect I can see.
This is definitely an effect you can see.
Ah, 16.
You take 20 points of cold damage, and you are suddenly restrained as ice is forming around your legs. This lasts until the end of the creature's next turn, or until another creature breaks you free, but that is obviously going to happen. It is still, though, attacking you with its 2 lashes, which glow the same color as that blast. That is 29 and a 25 to hit.
Yep, that both hits.
There is a difference for you between bludgeoning and cold damage? Or should I just
Yes.
roll out on it again?
No, I'm not resistant against cold at the moment.
Then you take 11 bludgeoning. Of course, half that as you will from the first attack. And 24 cold damage.
Did I lose max HP last session? I think from one of the.
I believe so, but you would have lost that condition by now
Okay.
through the long rest. And as it is your turn again, you are still restrained. Could you roll me 3d8 again and use those new rage?
Oh, before that, it did hit me twice,
Yes.
right? So it would take 2 force damage.
Oops, didn't mean to copy those dice.
Okay, 7, 4, 7.
If there is a double, feel free to re-roll that. Unless it's an effect you can use twice, then you can also just use that twice.
7. No, it just makes the area difficult terrain. Shadow Tendril slash out, and the creature has to make a con save. I can now throw my weapon at it, and it is force damage.
17 plus 6, so 23.
Yeah, that succeeds. But I do gain a d12 temporary hit points. And then, like, flowers and vines grow around me, and area's difficult terrain.
Mm-hmm.
And restraint means I have disadvantage on attacks.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll just attack recklessly. Uh, 12 and 22.
The 12 does not hit, but the 22 does.
Uh, 27 force damage. And
Oh, damn it. Okay, nothing it can do against that.
that's my turn.
Okay. As your turn ends, as its turn begins, to the end of the next turn, right? You see again this light, the colors cycle quickly before it sends on a dark purple. Could you give me again I would guess restraint? I think you automatically fail dex saves. Is that the
Fail or disadvantage?
sins? I don't remember. Disadvantage. So you do get to make it. You could give me another DC 20 dex save.
At disadvantage, but I have advantage, so just straight. An 8.
There's this deafening blast as you take 23 points of thunder damage. You are deafened for 1 minute. At the end of each of your turn, you can repeat this save, ending the deafness on a success. And then it also lashes. I should probably roll to hit first, shouldn't I? I got a little ahead of myself there. I'm sorry. That's a 16 plus 10. And another 16 plus 10.
Both hit.
And that is 27 bludgeoning. And another 22 points of thunder damage. In the observation deck, as you hear the sudden deafening loud noise, you hear the audio that's transmitted suddenly cut off as it gets worse and worse. There's this moment of silence before slowly the sound comes back on. You also see the demi-mage of transmutation holding goggles in front of your face with this smile that reminds you a little bit too much of Evelyn sometimes.
So take the goggles? Or wait, is she offering goggles?
No, she holds them in front of her own face.
Oh. Can I try to, like, get really close to look through them as well?
Sure, you can try.
What is she looking?
As you catch a glimpse from the side of her face through one of those lenses, you see throughout this room in front of you almost like a web, these different colored strings. And almost like lightning streaking across but staying, there is more and more. Huxley, as it becomes your turn, the ice cracks and is gone. Can you roll me 4d8 this time?
Oh.
As a reaction, can the creature make a dex save as well?
Sure. It only has a dex of plus 10.
Plus
Oh,
10?
okay.
Holy shit.
It's 10. Plus 10. 20.
Okay, then it succeeds and nothing happens. 4d8. 4, 5, 6, 8. Could it make another con? Well, yeah, could it make another con save?
Mm-hmm. That is plus 6, 19.
That succeeds. Okay, then I have +1 to AC. And yeah. I will attack again. Yeah. Am I still restrained?
No.
Dirty 20? Oh, yeah, no, that's just dirty 20 for the first attack. And another dirty 20 for the second attack. Does that hit?
Does hit.
Uh, 47. Piercing damage.
Damn.
And
Okay.
as my bonus action, I will turn into a phoenix.
Ah.
The black, like shadowy phoenix.
As you hit another 2 heavy blows, more and more of the construct begins to crack. And as it does, you, through those cracks, see more and more that line, which seems to pulse. Again, the colors switch back and forth, this time landing on a bright green. Could you please give me a DC 20 Dex save?
Is against the poison effect?
It is not poison.
Although, okay. Yep. $20.
Meet it, beat it. Which means you take only half this damage and you don't suffer the extra effect. Which means you take 9 points of acid damage and don't suffer the extra effect. It does, however, do those 2 punches again. The lash. Acid flavor. That is an 18 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
And 25.
Yeah.
Which means you take another 15 points bludgeoning and 21 points acid.
Is the bludgeoning magical? Oh wait, no, I'm just resistant anyways because I'm raging. Yeah. So 15 and how much acid?
15 bludgeoning and 25 acid.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it takes 2d6. Oh my god, it takes 2 force damage.
Okay.
And I will make 2 attacks. $19 and 17.
19 and 17 both miss.
I will move into the creature's space.
Okay.
So, or kind of just like fly through it, basically,
Sure.
or like over
You
it.
can move through, over and out.
Yeah, and if it can, it catches on fire. And it takes some fire damage.
It would not catch on fire. But you would see the fire almost being sucked in to the cracks and runes on the creature. And as the color spins again, you see it set on red.
It does take 8 fire damage.
How much?
8.
Okay. And as it is its turn, I require that save again.
That's definitely a fail.
It is going to be fire that bursts from its chest. Are you immune to fire damage?
Yeah.
Then as the fire blasts past you, it does absolutely nothing. It does lash out, but of course the fire damage is negated, so it is only going to deal some bludgeoning. Which is... One of those hits. The other one slams into the ground. And it's just going to take the same bludgeoning damage it deals you, which is 8. And that is its turn.
I guess roll more dice, or more d8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, make another con save.
Should probably spell check before I upload something, huh? That is a
2
10.
con saves. Nice. And then another one.
That is a 18.
Okay. It takes 3 necrotic damage. And I will attack 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
My computer is struggling with the dice for some reason. 21 and 16. Or
21 hits. 16 does not.
yeah. Uh, 12 fire damage.
As you hit it with
And I
fire
guess-
damage, as you see its color on rend, you can tell that at least it has resistance to it currently.
I'll still fly through it to do a little bit more fire damage. Again. 3.
Okay,
And that's my turn.
then it is going to cycle again. This time the color lands on an ethereal white. Can you give me the save?
Twenty-one.
Okay. Only half. As lightning bursts from its chest, you take that 14 points of lightning damage, which it of course follows up with its lashes. That's 2 26s again. I love rolling 16. Apparently. Which would be 27 points of bludgeoning. And another 22 points of lightning damage. And that is its turn.
I think it does take fire damage just from hitting me. 5 and 1, so 6 fire damage. And I turn back.
It no longer seems resistant. And you can tell as this last bit of fire damage sort of rolls over the construct, there's a larger crack beginning to form. The construct is bloodied. As you roll for your effects, could you please roll an extra d8?
Oh, I rolled 4 6s.
Damn. Yahtzee.
Wait, if a 6 gives me a +1 to AC, does it just mean I get +4 to AC?
Let's just say yes.
Okay.
Mega shield.
And 2 means I can teleport, but there's no one I want to teleport to. And yeah, I guess just 2 attacks. That is a 29 and a 23.
Both hit.
4, 54 piercing damage.
54. Damn. You land
And I
another
think-
heavy blow, increasing the crank.
I think
You
as
can
a
tell
bonus
that-
action, I'm gonna
Oh, no, go ahead.
cast a fifth level healing word
Okay.
on myself.
Yeah, it does not have any counter spells or anything. Go ahead.
54 plus. Uh, 6 and 8. Okay, 11. That's my turn. But now my AC is 24.
As your 2 hits continue battering into the side of the construct, through these cranks, this energy pouring forth is growing stronger and stronger. Its left arm completely crumbles and falls off, partially from the crack. Partially because at its joint, the creature has begun to melt from the roiling energy. It doesn't even stay set on a single color at this point. Instead, there are 2. Can you give me that deck?
$14.
Let me quickly double check. Again, there is this deafening blast. If you weren't deafened anymore, you are again. And as it is a mix of 2 different, there's also acid that is now on you. If you do not take an action to scrape that acid off, next turn it is going to do another 2d6 acid damage. But first you take 21 points of acid damage and 31 points of thunder damage. And it is going to lash with its arm once. That is an 18 plus 10 to hit. Which is 11 points of thunder damage. Bludgeoning damage, sorry. 11 points bludgeoning. And 9 points of thunder damage. But as that arm hits, it too cracks, crumbles, and falls off. Can you add another d8 to your wild magic?
Yep. Three, 5, 4, 8.
Only one double. That's good.
3 is okay. 2, you know those blight creatures that are kind of like gooey blight creatures. 2 of those, like miniature versions of those, appear next to the construct, and at the end of my turn they will explode. But that's at the end of my turn. And
Why have you done this?
can it also make a con save
The blight is
for
here.
radiant damage.
That is a 18 for the constant.
Yeah, just saves. And I guess 2 attack. Uh, 23. And 25
Both hit.
for almost max
Ooh,
59.
okay.
44. Yeah, 59 piercing damage.
On its own, the construct already looks pretty close to destruction. When do your little thingies explode?
I guess at the end of my turn. But it is a dex save.
I'm gonna give it disadvantage because it is breaking apart. Still a plus 10, but that is 21.
Yeah, that saves. It is 2 separate ones, I guess.
Oh yeah. Oh, the other one is a 12.
That fails. It takes a d6 force damage.
You see, as quickly as these little cursed blood looking imps rise out of the ground from the observatory, they also immediately pop and are gone again.
Mm. 5 force damage.
Okay.
But it was shooting like blasts of energies at me, right?
Mm-hmm.
and it lost both its arms.
Yes.
I'm just gonna try moving away.
Okay. It looks, if that's at all possible, more volatile by the second. It is shaking. Clearly unable to contain whatever energies are inside of it. There is this roiling mix of 3 different colors that all blast forward in one more fountain. Which, could you give me that DC 20 dex save again?
Fail.
Okay. First, you take 25 points of cold damage.
Alright, go unconscious.
Which, as all of those, because the damage happens at the same time,
Yeah.
there's also 19 fire and 20 lightning damage. But as this flood of elements bursts forward, you see the construct explode in that array of colors. For you, your Death Ward triggers, and in a strange sense of deja vu, you stand alone in a chamber that is just marked by soot and lightning mark and damage all around, as you are out of initiative. The construct stands at the other side of the room, slowly melting in itself, crumbling and turning into this heap of slag.
That was fun.
There's this hiss as the door swings open. That was wonderful. Absolutely fascinating. And so many things we learned. Oh, the wild magic, and when the elements, and there was just so much. If only we could have kept going. Next time, well, maybe not in this sort of circumstance, but we can probably build something even better. I'll need probably a couple of minutes just to write it all down, but if the lenses are any indication, we can make you something. We can make a focus or something.
Yeah.
What
It's-
was this thing?
Oh, a conduit for wild magic. Well, and if you wanna, it's a construct. It's also a construct.
That was a cool fight, Hux.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was a much better fight.
There was
than
like
the wizards.
lightning on fire and acid and everything everywhere. It looked so cool.
Yeah.
You look terrible though.
Oh yes.
It was pretty close.
Of course, I'll send word ahead if you want to go to recuperation. Do you know where you'll be after? We'll probably need a couple of minutes to, translate the results into numbers, formulas, but we could have something ready within the hour. We could send it to you, wherever you are.
Wherever we are within the city or wherever we are in the world.
Well, within the city.
Okay.
Oh, if you're leaving, then we can hurry it up, but it's still going to take at least half an hour.
I mean, we can wait another half hour, especially
Yeah.
since we go to recuperation first and get you fixed, Hux. And afterwards, I guess we go back to our place with Vidar,
Oh, yeah, that's good.
and we can.
Right. Power of resonance, right?
Yeah,
I'll have it just sent right to you.
good.
I'm gonna heal Huxley for 9. Just so it's not so terrible looking, maybe? I don't
Fine. It's
Oh.
just some burns. And freezes. And acid burns.
Yeah,
And-
I saw.
Lightning burns.
Which
you
ones
think,
are worse, the acid or the fire burns, or the ice burns?
The acid, it keeps burning. It's still burning. We
Wow,
should probably
no.
wait past.
you hear this sizzling.
See, it's right there. Do you think like you could eat this thing, or like Palais could eat this and then be super magical constructy?
As you step close towards us, you still feel heat. It's stopped burning with whatever energy was coming from it. But portions of it, especially in the middle, it's almost shaped like a volcano of metal right now. In its very center, you still feel this heat emanating where the metal's just sort of melted through energy.
There's some of the metal that is not like completely lava right now, that is actually like just hot.
There's probably sort of smaller pieces further out as it exploded. There are a large amount of chunks all around it that have, at this point,
I'm going to
probably
feed
cooled off.
one to Winona.
Nice.
As you feed this sort of larger, almost nugget of metal to one another, there's definitely this grinding noise you hear. But it doesn't spit the metal back up.
Nice.
Well, like Halade's magic, right? Even the molten stuff wouldn't hurt it, right? I think. Maybe I'm just thinking like maybe give it sharp magic, wild magic teeth or something. I don't know. I actually don't know how constructs work. But like we remember Huxley, we repaired a vent that one time. We could totally
Yeah.
do that, right? I don't know.
Put some metal into Vint.
I
you
don't
can,
think
like,
Evelyn would
spit
let me do
acid.
that. I was thinking put some metal into Halay.
But it'd be so cool.
It would be cool, but she would definitely not be down.
Oh, yeah.
He pulls out Hele, I guess.
You try and
Puts him on top of the pile.
put him where the extremely hot metal is, or just sort of on the side where it's starting to cool down.
I guess where the hot metal is.
As you see Hilary starting to chew on this extremely hot metal, you can tell it's even slower than the metal it ground up yesterday. As it's still sort of almost viscous, almost flexible, you see the book grind slowly and slower and slower. There's still these tiny pieces of metal dust that fly out to the sides of the book. But as these little pieces of metal are still themselves pretty hot, they almost seem to clump together again. But other than that, it simply chews through the hot metal. Spits it back out to the
kind of
side.
impressive, to be honest. I don't know if it's actually doing anything, though.
You don't hear anything, but sort of above you through the window, you see the rest of the transmutation wizards just sort of wildly gesturing at each other. There's apparently some sort of conversation going.
Do you think they're okay? Did they not like they were using a paper shredder on the construct?
You see one of them sort of mimicking an explosion. They're not even looking anywhere towards you.
Probably just figuring out to make the thing for hugs.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I guess we get you fixed now.
Oh, yep. Do you
Yeah.
want to go over there? Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay. You would head over to recuperation, and once again, your wounds are completely healed. You also receive one of these.
Potion of spell recovery.
Nice.
Pretty nifty.
Do you wait in your quarters for that rest of the hour?
Yeah, it should be just a couple of minutes, right? Basically,
Yeah.
just 15 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, you while away a couple of minutes as you return to the tower, after which you hear a knocking on the door.
Hello, come on in.
The door slowly opens, and there is no person that stands in front of the door. Instead, there is another mule. You see it holding a small package, which it places on the ground and turns around.
Oh, they gifted us
It
another
is-
mule. Stay! Oh. It's gone.
Good try.
Inside of that package is a crystalline lens for Huxley. And if you turn it around, you can read its effect. And I'm gonna use this opportunity to quickly go to the toilet. Let's take a quick 5-minute break. I'll be right back.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So the like things will do 2d6 now rather than.
Yeah. Which I feel like should be something that like scales
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, it does feel like a.
Yeah.
1 radiant damage to you, sir.
And then they rolled a 1. And then it's just 1 extra damage. It's just like...
Mm,
Wow! What are you gonna do now
So
after I stubbed your
powerful.
toe?
Yeah, I feel like the open eye is better.
yeah. Because all the effects like
Mm.
are good usually.
Yeah.
Like
I guess this doesn't help with maybe like the AC. One of them, but like the rest of them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps with like half of them, I guess. Because one just lets me teleport, one makes the terrain difficult.
Right.
One gives +1 to AC. One lets me throw the weapon. Even having like a 19 instead of 17 as the DC
Hmm.
is good.
Cool thing. Take it with you.
Stick it in your eyeball.
That would look rather rad. Rips eyeball out, puts this thing in instead.
Oh, I meant just like hold it like a
Like a monocle.
yeah.
Hugs will like stick it in his eye and like, hey, I'm a wizard.
Exactly.
Oh, oh, look at important books. So important.
Huck says as she's trying to read Halley.
Also, was that the first time you rolled the one to summon the blight spirits?
Yeah,
I
I
think it
think I might have rolled it once before, but not in a long while at least.
I'm back.
Hello.
Is the wording clear? Haven't looked
Yeah.
at it since making it last time, so I hope there is no confusion.
No, it's clear.
Okay. By the all numbers and dice are doubled, it means the ones where there's no dice, like the difficulty range, it's basically twice as far.
Oh, okay.
So the armor class
Those
is also
numbers are
doubled?
also doubled.
Oh.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
super
yeah,
nice
that's
then.
Okay. As you have all of your things, you then headed off.
I think so.
The door
Yeah.
to the mansion is still up.
The question
You do
is,
not see Evelyn around.
do I just dispel this and try to catch her if she falls out? Probably not. Yeah. Probably. I'll go in and knock and be like, it's time to go.
Immediately as the door creaks open, you see a ghoulish face looking back at you.
Ghoulish.
There are definite bags under her eyes, and there is this clinking of bottles before the door opens. And she stares daggers at you.
Look, I'll put the mansion back up on the ship. You just gotta walk like a little bit.
With a sigh, the door opens fully and she follows. One bottle still in hand.
Yeah.
As you're all gathered in your quarters, you see Vidal cast a teleport spell. Anyone unwilling?
In the meantime, Soleil just changed his clothes real quick.
Then with a quick whip, you find yourself back on the dart. Outside, on the deck of your ship, stands Orvaith. Vidar steps outside and exchanges a few quick words. You see Orvaith hand a small stack of golden papers to Vidar before Orvaith simply hops off the ship. Is there anything anyone would like to do? Or what happens?
Are those the tickets we were promised?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. I don't think so.
You see Vidar step back inside and toward the command console of the ship. You hear him whisper, "Engines start." And with this familiar thrum, you hear the engine start and the ship slightly lift the ground. At which point you hear the chanting of more than one wizard outside. Without standing outside, there is not much you see, but you see light from underneath the ship before, without even a noise, the ship vanishes with you in it, and you leave Arcanist. The sudden transition, the sudden relocation of the dart feels much again like the teleport platforms, almost barely noticeable. Except it feels somewhat heavier, slower. Leading up, there was this slight pressure, like a weight pressing down on your chest, building and building to its eventual release. The tension evaporates like a wound up spring finally sprung, and immediately everything around you feels different. The air tastes different. The light reflecting off of the ship's mirror walls feels brighter, warmer somehow. Outside, in the light of a late afternoon sun, the world around you seems entirely alien. The ship overlooks a vast and vibrant green land. To the west, near the horizon, you see, slightly distorted and shimmering, a frame to the painting beneath you. What you assume are the edges of an ocean. From the sea, a twisting root network of deep blue stretches across the entire canvas. Hundreds of rivers split and intersect into a web of canals, fed enormous amounts of water from glistening basins and enormous lake further to the east. There, the landscape grows higher, almost mountainous, as these verdant hills roll ever higher and higher like a waterfall themselves. The lakes and basins in these green mountains flow down in winding colossal rivers before splitting into this web of river delta that seems to make up for most of the landmass below you. At one of this delta's many intersections of river flows, and in fact located right beneath the airship, you see a city partially built upon the water, almost as green as the land surrounding it. Do you take a closer look?
Yeah, sure.
You move out onto the deck of the airship, making your best efforts to look past its edges and down beneath the ship. Along the rivers around the city and even somewhat further into the distance toward the ocean, you are now able to see tiny structures floating up and down the streams, small ships sailing this network of water. And this is the city that you see.
Ah, the bottoms.
Which, of course, we don't know any of this.
A couple of minutes pass of you looking over the sign, carefully studying every minute detail of this new landscape, as a sudden powerful wind begins to blow upwards, coming from right below the ship. This wind sends slight tremors through the idling ship as it automatically attempts to rebalance against the oncoming forces. And just then, 3 massive projectiles shoot past the ship, past its starboard hull, creating a slight list as the ship readjusts. You look up after the long, seemingly blue javelins that just launched into the skies, only to see them slow up near the clouds, begin to curl and wind and float back downwards towards you.
Get us out. We're gonna get... Ship forward!
The ship begins to move forward, but you see these curling projectiles begin to follow. You now see wings, faces, and snouts, and scales. They dive down towards the ship, sort of circling around it. You see these huge feathered serpents flying parallel to the ship,
I should have the wizards
arrayed
cannon
in
on.
a triangle around you. You also see metal weapons and armored riders sitting on the backs of the flying creatures, holding their position with surprising ease as their firearms are almost leisurely angled towards you. As you continue your flight, the largest of the 3, somehow standing on the back of his mount's long neck, steps a couple of feet further towards the feathered serpent's head.
So hang on, quick clarification. They're not... Maybe I misunderstood. It's just like lines that the lines we saw are these things.
Yes.
Okay. So
You
they
saw
aren't-
them
they're
sort of
not trying to trap us in a net or something.
No.
Okay.
You saw them shoot upwards and then begin to curl down towards you.
I see. I misunderstood. I get it. All right. Ship idle, please. So polite with the ship.
I mean, Soleil
The ship
wears his mask now,
slowly
but
slows down, as do the feathered serpents, coming to a rest, flapping around the front of the ship. The larger of the 3, standing close on his mount's neck, leans forward and you hear him speak. Intio ulam, adviriorum, terra, Ondharu quarai turud.
It is a fine day to meet you as well, my fine fellow. I'll give him a bow. Did you understand that slang?
I don't think I did. Only if Beggar tells me otherwise.
No.
Yeah, but you can see Soleil's face because he wears the blue tiger mask right now. But if you could see it, you could see the jealousy on his face because they are riding the cool snakes.
Oh, okay, hang on. I got something for this.
But he
As
doesn't understand.
You sort of bow and say something back. You see the larger of the three just sort of look confused and shrug towards the other two.
I'm gonna activate my half mask of comprehend languages.
As you activate the half mask, as they seem to converse with each other, you start to understand the language they speak. And you hear the big one say, "They must be from somewhere else. I cannot understand a word they say."
I'm gonna wave and say, Polythreme! Polythreme!
You see his head snap back around. "Your presence above Arudai city presents a threat to its citizens. We must ask you to follow to ground outside its walls."
I'm gonna give him a thumbs up and be like, Aradai, thumbs up! But I can't speak the language, I just understand what he's saying.
Your sky ship, does it sink in water?
But do we sink in water?
The ship floats, but it does not sail.
I'm gonna point at the ship and point at the water and give him a thumbs up.
If you choose to be guest to Arudai, we can find a mooring at the many docks of the Green City.
Thumbs up.
You see him make a sort of circle with his hand, and the other two begin to dive, fly off towards the city.
Okay, so he said we can dock, and he doesn't want us flying up here because of some kind of potential threat, I think.
He
I just
points
said we
towards
dock.
you and makes a gesture with his hand to follow him.
A ship follow that worm at whatever appropriate velocity, perhaps.
It's a feathered serpent,
Feathered serpent, right?
a celestial as far as I'm aware.
Do you recognize the language?
I've heard it before. I'm not well versed in it, but there are ways around it.
Yeah. I got understood.
If I am correct, then this city does have trade throughout the ocean towards Antok. There should be some that speak common.
That would be nice.
The feathered serpent begins to fly in front of the ship, and Virat begins to follow. Very slowly, very far in a very wide arc, the feathered serpent begins to fly downwards at a very flat incline, and the ship follows. It probably takes almost an hour of following the serpent before you arrive near the bottom. Slowly, the serpent leads you along this vast river delta towards a dock on the inside of the city's walls. From here you can tell this outer wall is mostly palisade, and the main city, encircled by larger stone walls, is almost entirely on the water.
Can I do something as we float
Yep,
down?
you
I
have
would
an hour to do
like
so.
to look down towards the city and try to remember like the exact coordinates where I saw Lorana and try to get a feeling to where in the city this was.
I shall mark it pink. There you go.
Okay. Nice.
The dart slowly descends into the waves, and there's this splash, this low rumble of engines as the dart comes to a standstill, gliding the last few feet towards the dock before stopping at its edges. The feathered serpent once again coils up, this time above the ship, as the guard shouts down. Do not cause trouble in Arudai. You are guests and welcome. But overstep your bounds and you'll deal with us.
What is he saying, Red?
He says to follow the rules, but he hasn't told us what those are. I'm gonna wave at him and like do a talking hand motion and like do a writing motion and be like, can I talk to somebody or you give me like
yes, you are welcome.
all right.
You do not need to pay at the dock.
Okay. Well, he said we don't need to pay. It was very kind. I give him a bow.
I mean, if there are rules we are
bows
supposed to
back
follow,
and-
what are the rules?
I don't know.
Fly off again.
This is like, this can only go wrong.
I know, right? Oh dear.
It's like, why did you step on this one? This is the Khan's favorite carpet.
Rick. Yeah. Okay, hang on. Well, I'm just gonna go over here. Sorry, I did this during the hour we were coming down. I recast the mansion.
Yeah.
Back here. I don't think everyone's gonna be up for some random translation errors. We'll just make those mistakes on our own. We should probably start by finding someone who speaks both languages. Yes, maybe.
Yeah.
Unless Huxley, you
So
just
the
magically
question
use
is, how obvious do we want to be? I mean, we made quite the entrance, but if we go deeper into the city, do we go like full on Winona and whatnot, or do we go like more stealthy and a little bit more not too obvious? Because I don't really know, like we still have no idea
Yeah.
why exactly Lorana is here, and that's why I also like put on these clothes again. I don't know if the people who took her are still with her. They could know my face because I was the bodyguard back there, and you know,
Could be.
I don't know how good of an idea it is to like waltz in and be like, hey, we are looking for Lorana.
Yeah. But they shouldn't know either I or Huxley, though, right? This is
No,
pretty
no,
far.
they shouldn't know, any of you guys.
Though Vidar did say they might have trade with Antark. Still seems unlikely.
Maybe someone saw you winning the tournament. That could be a
Most
thing.
of the traffic to and fro the east happens throughout the ocean. But travel is difficult.
Yeah.
You'd probably have an easier time being recognized at the actual port. We
Yeah,
are
we-
far inland.
We did stay at that kind of like port near Antioch that one time, right?
The
Met a
port with
few
the
people.
with the hot springs and whatnot.
There are
Yeah.
few ocean sailors that make the travel inland. Even so, there are hundreds of faces every day.
So, yeah, seems pretty unlikely. We should be alright.
Unless someone is looking for you and knows you. He looks towards the lake.
Well, they shouldn't be looking for me, but who knows? I just wanna go and find her now.
I still think we need to find someone who speaks both languages first.
Yeah, sure.
One step at a time. And maybe find out what this place is called. Oh wait, he said Aerodai. Never mind.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, find out who runs it, what the rules are. That'd be good.
When we look at the
Alright.
buildings, these look more like Japanese style or more like deserty style, or is there like a certain architecture to them?
They definitely have a more eastern touch. Probably not quite as far or as stylized as Japan,
Mm-hmm.
but they definitely have,
Asian.
yes,
Okay.
construction. You can also tell that the buildings, at least, almost all of them are made of wood.
Evelyn, you wanna come with us?
She's already in the mansion.
Oh, too late. Also, just before we leave Bakala, have you like, when you were on your way, did you like find out stuff about your father? Like, there was the thing with your father, and I really don't know what we actually like agreed to do, or like what was supposed to happen to free him. Like,
But ours said they're good.
yeah, they're good, but what does that mean? They're good.
Oh right, yeah, true.
Like,
We have received the means of undoing the seal of Gesinthier. Of course, to do so, we would have to return at least near Polythreme.
okay, because he's held there, right? Okay.
There is certainly some urgency. You see him sort of side glance at Bakana. But as we are not there, we will take care of it once we return.
Alright, I get it. That means let's go. Don't waste any time. I know this is not the most important stuff for you guys, but
I
don't
think it's
wanna
pretty
do this.
important.
From the ship, you have no issue just hopping onto the dock. And before you stretches a very...
I'm gonna leave
foreign
Winona
city.
behind, sadly, because I feel like we might want to have some stealthier moments at some point.
Look
Not
at
be,
it this
not
way.
be too
Jess.
obvious.
So like, I feel like finding one ally is as helpful as another.
Hmm.
And if you know who can be found, I think she might be able to help the balance of power in Antioch a good bit.
That's true. Because there seems to be stuff going on about the who takes power
Yeah.
and whatnot.
For sure.
I don't even know if I want to throw her back into that pit of venomous snakes.
Well, maybe
is the
not. Maybe
politics.
there's some other reason for being here. We don't know yet.
We'll see.
Yeah.
The
Hello,
ju-
common. Anybody speak common? 2 gold for a common translator.
As he shouts that, I want to look at what the people wear here, and I want to like make my blue tiger cape look a little bit more like the people who live here. Like I want to like make it not that obvious that I'm an outsider and try to match the design a little bit to what the people are wearing here. With my
Second.
hat of whatever it's called again. Changes my appearance.
Probably head of disguise.
Disguise, yeah.
Initially, as you begin to walk, you can tell that the area you're in, there's a lot more grime, a lot more dirt. There is quite a few people, but most of them seem very simply dressed. Some of them seem to be farmers. There are fields directly here within the city walls that are being worked. Do you also make your way sort of towards the inside of the city, or do you stay at first outside in these alleyways?
Really prefer to like find a dock master. I don't know. Somebody who could give us a general do's and
Rundown.
don'ts. Yeah.
Okay, so
I
you
don't even know if
just
we're
look
allowed in the
for-
city.
So we stay at the docks at the beginning to see if there's someone speaking common.
Yeah. Like, is there an office? I realize I won't be able. Well, no, I can read it. Is there an office that says dockmaster or harbor master or something like that?
As you look around, you see, at least here, very few signs. At least at the docks, there is only denominations of warehouses. There's a tavern or two, but you don't see anything akin to a dockmaster. As you sort of observe the general ongoings around you, you see smaller boats, fishing boats, larger vessels, just sort of leave and dock as they seem to please. There doesn't seem to be anyone sort of keeping tabs on anything.
Okay.
Wanna do like a 10-minute split up to see if any one of us can find someone who speaks common, just to get this done quicker. Soleil seems
maybe.
really impatient right now.
I'd rather not split up. You can lead the way, though.
Sure, I'm gonna head to the next to the first tavern.
Yep. I can still
Yeah.
understand things for like another maybe. No, I can't. Hang on. Is this at will? I don't actually have the item card.
It should be the same as the helmet of comprehend languages.
Okay, let's go back.
I believe it should be at will.
Yeah, it's at will. Okay. You can just assume I have that up then.
Okay.
And I
Near
know
the
you
dock
don't
side,
listen to
you
people.
see taverns. Easy enough to tell there is, the classic sign outside, tankard, and you see a stream of people going in and out. You step inside, and there is a loud and leisurely atmosphere. There are plenty of people around. Most of them relatively poorly dressed, as you would have seen so far all around.
I'm gonna say something racist. They're all gonna look the same to me.
Yeah, well, okay, just there's a lot of tokens I had to get, okay, for
Okay.
my sessions, alright? So
It's
let me
a
get
good
off my back.
question, though. Are they all human?
For the most part, they appear to be so. Every now and then you see someone with their hat a little bit higher than the rest, and there are a fair number of tieflings or otherwise horned individuals you spot amongst the crowd. Tabaxi, you see none. Lizard folk, you see none. It is mostly, or looks to be mostly, dominated by humans.
Okay.
I let Red lead the way and then just try to listen. If I hear someone talk common.
I'll try the bar first, but... Good afternoon, do you speak common? Well, I don't know why it's called common. Do you speak Polythreme? By any chance? Madam?
There's this blank expression on her face
Fantastic.
as she squints slightly. She points towards the barrel, almost questioningly.
Yeah, that's a barrel. Thank you.
You see her sort of rub her temples,
I'm gonna put down a silver. It's fine, it's fine.
and as you put down the silver, you see this sly smile across her face, and you see her hand reach over and slide it into her pocket. At which point you hear her shout, "Tira!" As someone appears from the back room. You see her walk up to the bar and look towards the barkeep. Of course, you understand what they're saying. They are some strangers from probably far away. I don't think they speak a lick of our language. You've studied some languages. Maybe you could... Tira, as she was called, turns towards you and just sort of stares at you.
Good afternoon,
Waiting.
ma'am.
She turns back towards the barmaid.
It is lovely to meet you.
Yeah, I understand them. What do you want me to do?
I'm gonna keep
Well-
acting like I don't understand them at all.
They have coin. Certainly, they seem lost, don't they?
I don't think they understand us. Let's go, Red.
Oh,
I guess we
One
might
moment.
have to. Oh,
in this part, she does speak in common. You seem confused. I hear you don't speak the local language. How did you get here? She turns to the
Well,
bar
it was
maid
a very
again, and
long
this
journey.
part again, she speaks in the local language. Do you think they're bandits? Ah, don't be silly. Why would bandits walk into a bar in strange land?
who just teleports into a bar?
Well, I do speak common.
Splendid. I am not sure if you are employed here, but it would be very helpful to us to employ a translator, at least for the time
I
being.
can offer my services for a fee.
Mhm. That is lovely.
Depends on the fee.
Well,
Yes.
for how long would you require my services?
I think a day-by-day arrangement would be best.
Hey, Yena, how long do I have? Do you need me here tomorrow? No, just go along with them. Well, it would be a daily fee, and I could translate for you.
Yeah, that's reasonable, I suppose.
Also, we were told about rules. It would be nice if you could tell us some of those rules. We don't want to overstep some boundaries that you local people have.
Well, I can warn you of any laws. I mean, there are, laws that probably apply universally. No killing, no murder, no stealing.
Sure.
Pickpocketing,
yeah.
also stealing. You pay for things. Is there anything in particular?
How do you
want
pay
to
here?
do that?
Like with normal gold coins, or do you have another currency like
No, I
frickin'
already
coal?
worked
Or...
that one out.
We use gold and silver and copper.
That's
yes.
good. That's good. Making that sure because we want to be able to pay you, you know. And if you had another
Yeah,
currency,
I don't
that'd
think they
be-
have any idea where they are. Well, help them then. Oh, but how did they get here if they don't know anything? Well, that's not mine or your job to figure out. What you do need is money.
So how much do you require for your services?
Of course. Well, that'd be around 5 gold a day.
A bit pricey, but
Oh, no, it's
you run it.
generally
No one else,
what
so
you'd pay for a translator here.
inside check.
Give me an inside check with advantage.
Brett knows they're trying to scam us. So.
That's not too bad. I see it's 19 plus 8, 27 for inside.
Yeah, she's very obviously scamming you.
I'll tell you what. 5 is too high, but I'm willing to do 3 and give you a sizable bonus if we are successful in our transactions here and don't get like ripped off or, you know, one put over on us while you're translating by somebody. Or, you know, sometimes we run into that kind of issue with the various places we travel.
Yena, they're gonna give me 3 gold a day. No way. Yeah. That sounds, well.
Great. You didn't even ask about the bonus, but sounds good.
Yeah. What would that bonus entail?
Well, if we are just satisfied, I think it'd be 5. If we are highly satisfied, and you turn out to be incredibly helpful before we leave, it could be up to 50. Again,
Swallow hard, as you mentioned that second summon.
but again, that would have to be making sure that no one steals from us or rips us off in any way while we're in the city.
Yeah, of course. I have a good eye for pickpockets and scams and thieves and such.
Yeah, it takes one to know one, of course.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Translation.
See, he says as he talks in common.
Yeah.
From a translation.
Well, would you like to start by having a round of drinks?
Sure, what kind of drinks do you serve here?
Well, mostly it's ale from grain.
Fine by me.
Okay, let's do one quick ale. We wanna get our dealings resolved quickly, but so one ale, and then I guess we start, go in where we want to go.
Of course.
Maybe in the
My
meantime you can
service is yours
tell us
for
a
the day.
little bit more about, like, you know, this place, like who rules it, who's in charge, like what's going on here. Just some general information while we drink our ale.
As you take your place at the bar, you see the woman who you now know as Vienna pour 3 mugs of a somewhat clear-looking liquid and put them on the table. As she does, she holds up that silver coin from before, points on the table, and holds up 3 fingers.
Yep.
Yeah, that means the silver coin pays for the 3.
No. The silver coin paid for it.
Yeah, you put
Calling
3
out
silvers
Kira.
down, I'm assuming,
Yes.
and she slides over the mugs.
Thanks. So it's Tira?
Yes, that's my name. How familiar are you with where you are?
We know the continent.
From 0 to 100%,
Okay,
like
did
a
you-
solid 5.
Did you come from Antok Ark?
Sorta.
Polythreme.
I've heard that name, but I don't know where that is.
That's even
Further
further west to Antark.
Ah,
Inland.
I see. Well, you are very far in the east. If you didn't know, you crossed a big ocean.
We crossed the plane of fire, but yes, technically.
I'm sorry.
We
Just
crossed the plane
continue.
of fire.
Just
Yeah.
continue. It's fine.
Okay. Well,
You seem to be curious.
I didn't know there was fire. Is it also like the ocean?
If
Either way,
the ocean was fire,
but how did you cross it?
carefully.
But a ship would burn, right?
Unless it was made of metal.
Wouldn't that just sink?
Unless it flew.
I mean, I figure if something flies, it also floats. But how does metal fly?
Again,
Unless it's
carefully.
launched from a crossbow or something.
Jesus, that would be a huge crossbow. That sounds awesome.
I want to try that now.
That's That's not how we did it, though.
Well, you are in Arudai, the Green City, at the heart of this continent, across the ocean. This is the ruling city of the Khanate. Our local government, our local ruler is called the Khan, and he lives in the royal palace.
Makes sense.
Is that the big building we saw when we came to the city?
Yes, it's in the center. The only building inside the walls of the lake that is set on stone. It's quite beautiful. I've only been there once for festivities, but usually it is off limits. So it's unlikely we'll be going there. Unless you have a very good reason or a lot of money.
Interesting.
Sadly, we have neither, but good to know.
Mm-hmm.
So what more can you tell me about how about the various trade, for example, with Antark? What kind of like companies, organizations do that? That might be
Oh, well, I'm
relevant.
not too familiar. There are several large trading companies. I can
Okay.
tell you what sort of names we see stamped on crates.
Well, why don't we start with the big trading companies? Does that seem reasonable,
Well,
Soleil?
those would be the names I see stamped on crates.
Okay, well, fair enough.
I'm not familiar with ship trading companies. When I booked passage, it was with a sort of independent, you'd call it, captain. But I was only in Antok Ark for about a month before I left, and that was long ago.
Okay.
Most of the trading supplies I see coming in and out of the dockyard would be Stedman and Villain, and I think those are the two big ones.
Villain. I've heard that name before.
Oh, yeah, if you're from the West, I would assume so.
Yeah, makes sense.
Also, is there like you guess? I guess you just trade wares, right? From where we are from, like trading people. You know, like slavery and stuff is not really very nice. Not
People?
very
No,
highly
they are.
seen.
Well, you
sort of.
can certainly have retainers and have people work on your land, but
Okay, so there's no
buying
slavery
people?
here. That's cool. That's good.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
there
good to know.
is. I suppose when you look at the poorer quarters, sometimes someone accrues a lot of debt, gambling, or, well, sometimes it's simply inherited from a family, in which case they have to work off that debt, and sometimes that debt is sold from one person to another. Uh, You could argue it is a form of servitude in that regard.
Okay, but it's
Interesting.
not like you, or not like some people pillage another city and then steal all the people and sell them on this fucking market and
Oh
whatnot.
no, we do have bandits and such, but they stay outside of the city most of the
Oh,
time.
okay.
The guards would make short work of them if they were to
Okay, so yeah,
come inside
they're
the
not
city.
like officially accepted. They're just outside the city.
No,
They're not.
no.
Okay, good. Sounds like a
They're
good.
criminals.
Sounds like a good place. Good.
So are criminals generally? That's a good point. Are they like executed on crime commission, or is there a prison system? I'm just like,
Well, there is again certain crimes that can be paid off if the money is not available. That debt comes in again that I mentioned earlier. There are certainly crimes for which you could lose a hand or your hand. If you were to walk up to the nobler quarters, for example, and kill someone, then you would certainly be beheaded.
yeah.
Okay,
Fair
that is just fair. I feel like.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Cool, but you could just go in there, or are there like places off limit because you don't belong somewhere in the city, or could you just go anywhere basically, except for of course like the Khan's
Well,
place?
sometimes if you look, especially, you see her sort of look around the tavern and lower her voice, ragged, or if they can tell that perhaps you are there and up to no good, the guards may certainly advise you to leave the inner city. But if you are of minimal wealth and you are there for trade or have a residence within the city, you can pass by the Gate without any problems.
Cool.
I know.
You certainly shouldn't have any problems, especially if I'm there to clear up any misunderstandings.
Yeah, perfect. But incidentally, what is your profession? You work here at the bar. You said you traveled a bit.
You could say I'm employed at the bar.
Mhm.
Yeah, Yenna is my sister, and I do odd jobs around the place.
Are there other things that you could say you do?
I study a lot.
Scholar, then.
Yes, a scholar.
Interesting.
Inside
So
check.
that's another good point. How often is magic used in the city? You go ahead and then say.
Oh, quite a bit, especially by people that tend to the smaller temples and such. You can openly use magic, but of course, if you are manipulating someone else, generally frowned upon.
I like that this place sounds mostly like any other place we've been to. That's good.
Yeah.
That's not too much of a...
Did you want an insight check? I heard
That was more fun. Like, I don't believe
okay.
her at all. That when she said scholar,
Yeah.
I don't need an inside check for that. Yeah.
Is there a wizard school or a bard's college or a? Just out of curiosity.
No, not really. Most of the people here devote themselves to one of the temples if they wish to learn magic.
Okay, interesting.
I will get a little bit closer to her. And just...
He leans a little bit.
She's just... He's just... Have I heard the name Blackleaf?
Blackleaf. Yes, people have heard the name Blackleaf, but why are you asking? That is exactly
I'm
one of those groups of people you'd not want to associate, especially in the inner city.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just heard the name.
Yes, they are quite prolific around here. Have you had a run-in with them, or?
No. Back where we came from in Antioch, we just met someone who
All the way over
said
there?
they had some run-in with people from this organization at some point.
That would make sense. If you are to leave the city at any point, you should keep away from the mountains. There's not a lot of traffic that goes up and down there, so it's usually where that sword hangs out. Getting ready to pillage ships and raid and kill. I'm sure you must have them too, bandits and such.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're pretty much in charge of half the city.
Oh, that is horrible. Is that why you left?
Indirectly.
Partly, yes. City has been in turmoil, and we're kind of trying to
if
fix a couple of
you are
things.
looking to settle down somewhere far away, this would be the perfect place. If you want to have help finding a place in the city, perhaps?
Oh,
Small
I
commission,
know.
I could...
Well, maybe I'll come
That's
back
very
to
kind.
that. Depends on what my friend says about that. Looking for a friend in the
Arudai
city.
is the jewel. You will find no city like this for miles.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Well, I think that pretty well covers the basics.
At any point, does anyone take a sip of your drink?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
in between I will always just take a sip.
Hux is just sitting
It
there
is
making bubbles in his drink.
as an ale a lot flatter than you're used to, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And it tastes slightly sweet.
And rice winey, maybe.
Somewhat.
Sake.
Nice.
It certainly tastes a lot weaker than the stuff at home.
Kinda like it. And then just smile at the lady behind the counter until I notice that she can't see my face, so just
As you sort of turn your head towards her, she does cock her head and sort of smile at you. But she does not see you smile.
and I'll point at the ale in front of me and give her a thumbs up, and then I put 2 fingers up to order another one.
Her smile definitely grows wider, and she immediately hurries up to off to her, give you another mug of ale, which she again places on the counter and holds it sort of close in front of her. You slide over a silver.
Yeah.
Then she slides over the mug.
Like behind, I know it doesn't matter. I was about to say like behind her, on the counter, are there like more different drinks and whatnot, like the whole wall here, basically, or what?
You
what-
see a few jugs and even a few bottles that are made of glass, which you do not see a lot of.
Okay. So it's mostly like the ale, and everyone else in the tavern basically has food or ale in front of them, right?
Mostly.
Okay. So Tira, I think after I finish this one, we can immediately go.
Of course. So, why did you come to the city? Where did you want to go?
We're searching for a friend. We've heard she might be somewhere here.
Oh. It's been... Well, at least I haven't heard of any foreigners like you in the area. But I'm sure in the upper city pubs, they know more.
I mean, she's a human, so she probably is. I mean, if she dresses like you people, then nobody would probably notice her to be from outside, I guess.
What, does she seem wealthy? Would she be staying at a tavern, at
I
a house?
think she's been seen somewhere. If you go through the Emerald Gate, I would guess it's this one, right, Becca? The Emerald Gate? This here?
if you're guessing.
I'm guessing. I mean, yeah, the Emerald Gate is the large gate we saw that leads from this part of the city to the fancier part.
Yes, the gate in the wall.
Yeah, I feel like what they've been saying, she was seen last time, like when you go through the Emerald Gate and then over the bridges to the left into like kind of a...
There are
District.
two large residential districts there. The Silver Quarter in the Lake Wall district.
She was like in one of the bridges there. I feel like I was told. That's what I remember
On
at
one
least.
of the bridge.
Yeah, that was where she was last seen.
All right, so probably likely she is either from one of those districts or she was there to visit the arena. Would she?
Last
Visit
time when I
the
saw
arena?
her, didn't she like go to like a freaking fountain or something? Or what was it again? When I got the exact coordinates, what was she doing there?
Do you
Don't really-
mean when you had that vision when you slipped?
No, I mean when I slipped, there was this vision where she was riding on a like a
Yes.
camel or whatnot, and there were a lot of people, or a horse, and yeah. But I remember the one when I was in the
When you
library
asked,
and saw the perfect coordinates.
the guy that is this.
And I saw the guy. You mean the god?
You know, who knows?
The
who that
guy.
is.
Okay.
The guy. The dude.
Yeah. I saw her there, but what did she do? Was she just standing on this bridge, or did she actually do
You did see
something?
her standing and sort of look over the canal.
Okay, okay. I wasn't sure. I just remembered water, and for some reason I thought like she went to a fountain and got some water or whatnot. Okay, so she just stood there. Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I would like to go there first to that place and see. I mean, it would be it's very unlikely that she's, that she's still there. It's been a couple of days, but maybe we get like a hint or something where she might be.
Okay.
Could be.
We could leave whenever you're ready. It is
Alright.
getting dark outside, so I believe the guards will be extra watchful, but again, it shouldn't be any problem.
I mean, if it's getting dark, we could go and find us a spot to, like, hit the sack,
I think we have one of those.
I mean, yeah,
It's up to you.
I feel like it's gonna be harder to do this work. I mean, could be, yeah, I mean, we want
I
to do
think
this.
we might as well go.
Yeah,
Like,
sure. Let's go.
yeah, it's just walking, right? Like, it's not.
He just needed to hear. We
done
could
much
as well
else
go.
today.
He's just going.
Okay.
Okay, so you are headed out.
So, like, as we step outside, we're at, like, over here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Now
And
she
we just
sees
point at the metal ship. And we're
Yeah,
like,
the metal.
"Shit."
That's how we came here, by the way.
You see her immediately sort of tilt head forward, just sort of staring, eyes squinted, sort of holding her hand to cover her eyes from the sun, even though the sun is long gone behind the building. Is that ship made out of silver?
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's an alloy silver. That's right.
Well, suppose you are wealthy indeed if you are traveling on a ship made out of silver.
It doesn't technically belong to us.
Yeah, we are just kind of working for the guy who owns the ship.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, he must be extremely wealthy. Maybe even wealthier than the Khan. I've certainly
He
never
might
seen
be.
him on a ship out of silver.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about the Khan, but I know this guy is pretty wealthy.
I do not recommend anyone trying to board that ship, though. You will get crushed by a giant skeleton. That's our defense.
Yeah,
mechanism.
that place is way more dangerous than it might look. So
Yeah.
no one should enter it without permission. Bad idea.
Yeah.
She stares at you in disbelief.
It's literally like 30 feet tall.
Yeah.
Well, how does it fit?
It's currently curled up. And still pretty tight.
So there's this nightmarish red horse. That's no, just kidding. This is just not just a horse. Okay, let's just move on.
Yeah, you see her just staring, speechless. So, if you want to
Blowing
go,
this
you sort of have to
lady's
pry her to.
mind. Let's go.
Off we go.
Okay. So you head towards the city, I assume.
Yeah.
You follow the most direct path through the larger alleyways. As you come to the main road, you see a lot of people going back and forth. Pulling carts, there are horses pulling carts, there are barrels, crates being lugged around. There is a large building sort of off to the right. The only building in the immediate vicinity that appears to also be made from stone and not wood. From the outside, it's somewhat immediately obvious that it likely is a place of worship of some sort. There are statues and these carvings all around the building signs. Sorry, I got stuck on that word for like a whole minute.
What
And
what
off
kind
to
of
the left-
carvings? Like, is it possible to see what kind of deity might be worshipped
The
there?
images you see are more of multiple people. It's almost like a scene, almost like a painting
Story.
of
Okay.
a story. So it's hard to make out from this distance one specific or multiple specific figures.
Might as well ask our guide, I guess. Tira, who's been worshipped there.
Oh, the spirits of the land. There are several. I believe they are close to what you would call elemental.
Mm-hmm.
One represents the fleeting wind, one the raging fire. There is one for the shadows, mostly a god of the night. Then there is one for the moon. There is one for the waters of the rivers, and there are actually several for the rivers. There are 3 major rivers that come out of the basin, out from the mountain, and you see her sort of point past the Emerald Gate towards these rolling hills beneath, where going up the mountain you see 3 massive rivers sort of winding down. Well, you see 2 of them. The other one is sort of behind, but you had seen it at least from the sky before.
This guy from the shadows.
Each
Is he like a
one of
good
those
guy?
rivers are the waters. Sorry?
Is that shadow guy? Is that like a good guy? Are all these elemental dudes like? Do they have an
Well,
alignment
I
of sorts?
Suppose they are much like the wind.
Neutral.
The wind can propel your ship forward. It can pollinate your fields, but it can also, when it's too strong, destroy a house and such. I'm not that religious myself, but I believe most of them have 2 aspects to them.
I noticed there's not a lot of things out of metal around here. Is that accurate?
There is not a lot of metal. Certainly, people make armor and weapons from metal, but
Sure.
the land around us provides us with all we need. And of course,
Yeah.
metal, well, it doesn't float well, except maybe your maybe silver does. But we use silver for currency, so I don't think anyone would build a ship out of it.
What about armor? You heard of any visitors that happen to be wearing silver armor recently?
Good
They'd be
question.
memorable.
Silver? No, but the guards over there at the Emerald Gate are wearing armor.
What? Yes, yeah, obviously. No, if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's fantastic.
Yeah, not like a super large, 15 feet tall silver soldier, whatnot. Some very weird. Let's just go.
At the gate, you certainly do see guards dressed like this. Here. To either side, there are multiple, all wearing this face mask completely obscuring their faces.
Kindred spirits.
And as you step up, Kira walks out ahead and gives a curt bow. You hear her exchange a few words. Simply headed to the markets for some groceries. It's late. Make sure you're out of the city by sundown. Of course, just to the markets. She bows slightly and starts heading down the bridge.
Gonna give them a nod as I pass them.
Well, the quarters you mentioned are over to the left. There are also markets there if you had wanted to buy some food. We do only have about 2 hours or so. The city gates do close at night, so if you're looking to find a place within the walls, that shouldn't be a problem. But if you're headed back outside, keep that in mind. Shall we?
Yeah.
You mentioned the bridge. Is it this larger one, or?
No, it's the one through the residential district towards the... What did you call it? The Colosseum or arena?
Yes, the arena.
Yeah, I think it was that one.
You cross the first bridge and slowly make your way towards the bridge you had seen. As you arrive, you definitely recognize it from what you had been shown.
Oh wow, not gonna lie, this map is super beautiful. I like this.
Yeah.
As you arrive at this bridge you had seen, and on the way here you can tell that people inside the city are dressed a little bit different than outside. There are definitely fewer people around, especially as there is less light as it is getting darker. But the few you do see are dressed in definitely more vibrant, more expensive robes than the ones outside.
When there's a moment that nobody looks at me, I'm gonna change my looks to fit to these people rather than the ones we first met, to make it a little bit more
There's probably
fancy.
a moment while you're walking where Tira looks back and then sort of looks confused at you, but
He-
she does
he
not
does
bring
that.
it up.
Hux would have probably also, during the time in the bar, slowly changed to look like one of the locals.
Okay.
Like, still a gnome, but
So, oh yeah, short hair, right?
And like a squished
Yeah.
version of that later. Okay.
I guess he would still wear his
You see
normal clothing.
Tira sort of walk up on this wooden bridge and then stop. Well, there is one other bridge further down, but this is definitely the closest.
Yeah, this fits the description, he says as he remembers exactly how this looked like.
Can you quickly roll me a wisdom save?
Sure. Wisdom save. A 14.
You feel something swelling in the back of your hand, this sort of slight pressure, and you do recognize it. You've experienced ascending before, and you hear the words in the back of your head. Fifth sending, First of Frost, Mr. Silas. Master Nojrat would like to urgently establish communications. Sixth sending to follow on the Second of Frost.
Does he say you can respond to this message?
No, he doesn't.
Soleil is just Soleil and just says, okay, I guess. Do I have to do anything? I don't understand this.
You say that out loud, or do you?
No, he just says that he tries to say it back. If it works
Yeah.
or not, he doesn't know.
I think you're somewhat familiar with
Somewhat
sendings.
familiar. Okay. Is that the 25 word thing he's sending, or was
Yes.
that okay?
Exactly.
So the second of frost, would that be like? Do we have the first of frost today, or what do we have at the moment?
Yeah, that's first.
Yeah.
That's the.
Okay, then
So
yeah, I
someone
will
just
just
has to send in?
I will just reply to the sending then. Okay. I will await communication tomorrow.
You send that back, and initially, of course, there's no response. Is there anything you'd like
Yeah.
to do?
Red,
Yeah.
just got a message from Noshrad.
Oh.
He wants
wanna
not
do this
directly
tonight?
one of this subordinates.
Silas, you hear it again, just overtaking the back. Of
You
your
can
head.
see in the
Where
middle
are
of
you now?
talking to Red. He's
I tried a sending from Antok, but it seems you were not in Polythreme. I have urgent news, and I
and 25
sending
words.
cuts off after the 25th word.
Oh no. Yeah, we were kind of not on this
Before you
plane.
managed to
I want to move into a
speak back,
shadow.
there's
Don't
another
think of that.
sending that
Yeah, I will
rolls
just
over.
like
I need you
go to the
to come
shadow.
to Antok as fast as possible. The ship
God.
is arranged to take you east. Do not be seen as you.
East? I will try to say it question mark. Like east? Already in the east. Currently in Arodai.
You feel the swell again and receive another sending. What? That's the sending.
Currently in Arodai, trying to find Lorana.
We need to meet tomorrow outside Arodai. Can you secure somewhere safe?
What? Now is he saying? You are in Ardai.
Is that what you said back?
What did he say again? First, like, do we meet outside the city?
We need to meet tomorrow outside of Arudai. Can you secure anywhere safe?
I can try. I don't know how it looks outside of Ardai. But before I said definitely the what?
Not in Arudai. Port City. Can be there tomorrow. Find somewhere safe.
Like, would I understand what he means? Like, not Arodai, Port City? Does that mean like
That's where he is.
that's where he is? So he will
in the
come
port
from
city.
the port city here and wants to meet outside of Arodai. Okay. Yeah, I can secure some place.
There is no further response.
In the meantime, Tira must be like, what the fuck are these guys
We just like moved into shadows. I have like my hand on my gun, and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
and yeah, Saleh basically has like one of his fingers on his ear as if he's having like a little thing in his ear and is like trying to... Okay, so...
Yeah,
I...
you see her just sort of standing on the bridge, just sort of looking towards you,
Red?
trying not to obviously look at you, sort of pretend looking around.
Seems like Norrat is already close by, one day away in the port city. He wants to meet tomorrow outside Arodai.
Oh.
He sent me a message. He wanted me to get to Antok Arc to ship me here, and he was quite surprised, just as I was, that he was here, that I was here. So
Okay.
he's close by and wants to meet tomorrow morning.
Easy enough, I think.
Yeah. All right. Hello.
So we're not getting attacked right now.
Yeah.
So, is everything alright? You look
Yeah, a contact of
somewhat
mine.
preoccupied.
Contact of mine messaged me, and I had to respond really quickly. I'm sorry.
Oh, of course. No, it is not an issue. So, I mean, this is the bridge. Is there anything I can help you look for?
Hmm.
It's like, don't do anything.
What?
You know that, like, thing? I don't know. Is that a thing? I don't actually know how that works. You have an incredible sense of smell, is what I'm saying.
I mean, sure, I can try and I can grab the Bloodhound amulet and see if I like
Like, if this is a place that is frequented, I don't know.
if I see a smell that is familiar.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Give me.
Spider-Man meme for
So you're
not
sort
rounded
of trying to smell for a
because
legal smell?
I guess the smell of her is familiar to me, and the Bloodhound amulet lets me like and that
Give me a
relies on
straight roll on perception for that.
Okay, so
Because it would be disadvantage,
disadvantage,
and then the amulet gives you advantage, so it cancels each other.
just to see, yeah, because it could be like that's what Red was trying to say. Maybe it's like something
Like
she
if
comes
she walks here
regularly
every
here.
night.
Yeah.
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 Okay, normal roll. What is it? Perception?
Mm-hmm.
Is it 21?
There is a number of smells around you. Of course, from the water, from fish on boats, there are some very strong smells that sort of obfuscate the entire smellscape around you. There is a slight hint of something that feels familiar, but it seems extremely faint. From your general experience with smells and having that amulet for a long while at this point, you would be able to tell that if this was somewhere where she was close nearby or had passed very frequently, you'd probably smell it stronger than this.
Seems like she hasn't been here in a while.
Was she protected from divination magic? Like, we can't scry on her.
We haven't really tried.
I guess Hux would just say that if we come back tomorrow, I can maybe try and find her if she's within 1,000 feet of here.
That sounds helpful. 1,000 feet is quite a bit.
Or we can like walk through the city. I can do it like 5 times.
That's
Oh wait,
pretty
no,
neat.
it's concentration. I think I could just do it and then we can walk around.
Even better.
At high speed on a metal horse. Actually, no, that'd be conspicuous.
That I guess like riding that horse in this place is probably very obvious. I'd rather avoid that here because we still don't know really
No, yeah, for sure.
what's going on here. Maybe Nodrad has. If he's here,
Should probably talk to him first, huh?
he might know more.
I've never tried, but I can also try to look through my cool crystal ball and see her. If she's anywhere.
Where are you hiding a
Around.
crystal ball?
What? Which crystal ball?
Oh, I bought this like in Polythreme last time. He just pulls out a crystal ball.
Yeah, it
Oh.
just sort of comes out of one of the folds of the cloak that Huxley's
Yeah.
wearing right now.
That's.
Did you
looks
buy it on
cool.
purpose, or did you think it was a marble?
No, I bought this so I could look at people far away, but then I kind of forgot about it, and I never tried it out.
That sounds awesome and creepy.
That sounds like this could have also made a lot of things easier, you know? I wouldn't have to have done deals with frickin' Time God or whatever. But yeah, that might help.
Huxley, you gotta tell us things more.
Yeah. I mean, you weren't there when I bought this.
But how would I know to ask then? Is there anything else that you bought that would really be like interesting or useful to us?
Well, I also bought this statue of a dragon that lets me summon a dragon.
What the hell?
Well, you should show that Bakala. Maybe it's her dad.
Okay, well, that's a lot to unpack.
Oh, and I bought this stone, and I could awaken a tree.
You could awaken a tree. That also
Are the
sounds
trees
cool.
asleep?
Like, make it move around and stuff.
I try to get a side eye on what Tira looks like when we talk about all of this.
That's helpful information. Not helpful right now, but see, that's
She
the thing you gotta
looks-
tell us.
Confused and concerned.
Also, I feel like that look suits you, Hux.
What, look?
The way you look right now.
Looks at himself. Oh. Thanks.
Alright, I guess. We have a couple things we could do tomorrow.
Yeah.
We meet with my friend. We can use Hux's ability to comb the vicinity, and Yeah, I can guess we figure stuff out after that, if it doesn't work. We also don't have like a lot of time here, as Tira said. We have to get out of here within 2 hours, so
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, if Noshrad hadn't called, I probably would have like spent the night here to see if I found out anything else, but I feel like it's a little bit of wasted time if there's so much more potential tomorrow, and I feel like I should be
Well, yeah.
I should
There's
be
always the
well
risk
rested.
Yeah, risk of getting, spotted or
Yeah.
making ourselves too obvious if we hang out too long.
All right. Oh, and thanks, Tira. Guess we can go back now to the ship.
No. Okay. You get what you came here for?
For now, we will come here tomorrow again.
Okay, we can leave throughout the Emerald Gates, and well, you know where I will be, so bar's always open.
Yep, I will probably pick you up sometime in the morning, I guess.
I'll give Tira the 3 gold. Or did she already receive them?
Nope.
Then I will give her the 3
She
gold.
very quickly pockets them. And starts leading you back the way you came. Where are you headed as you exit out the Emerald Gate?
I think we're just gonna secure the ship and
Yeah.
stay
Ship.
down.
Okay. You return to the dark, where
Guess we can lead Tira there closer so she can get a close look of the ship. Don't think we invite her on the ship, but like,
as she approaches the ship with you, would seem almost afraid of it,
I'm
or
okay with this.
extremely careful not to break anything. But you see her very carefully avoiding touching your ship.
you know, me as a player, Soleil wouldn't do it, but me as a player, I would love to just like say the word for the hatch and let Vint just flash and then go back and be like, "See, we told you." But I don't do that. But I wish I as a player would. But we can show her, like, that's the hatch where like the huge skeleton is in there.
I'll definitely take your word for that. Don't think I need to see it.
Probably couldn't sleep for a couple nights if you saw it. It was terrible. But it's been helping us. You know, it's a friend.
Does it?
She's called Ablin, and she
I shouldn't have. Yeah.
it's a friend, Ablin. You will maybe meet her tomorrow. She's also with us. She's a gnome, female gnome, and she kind of commands this huge skeleton. She can be a little bit difficult, but she's a good.
Yeah,
It's
it's-
very
she's a good-
scary.
She is more scary than a skeleton. That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She should be along tomorrow, though. It'll be good.
Yeah.
Fortunately, you are not a wizard, so you're good.
Yeah, she really has a problem with wizards right now. For
You're also not a
reasons.
god, right? So I think you're good.
No.
Would be funny though if you were.
Wasn't it?
She must be so confused
I
by
don't know
us.
if it would be.
This is the weirdest 3 gold she has ever earned
Sorry.
in her life.
It's all right. Listen, I'm glad that I'm paying you for your discretion. Just think about that. Have a nice night.
He gives you a curved bow and heads down the dock. As you see her run along the entire sort of side of the dock towards the bar, there's definitely this moment as she opens the door where she takes a long look back before closing the door. Okay, and I'm assuming you guys settle in for a long rest. Is there anything you'd like to do while you're on the ship?
I would like to get dressed in better clothes. Or I'll
Okay.
set out a better set of, I don't know, not as flashy clothes for myself
Mhm.
and Evelyn. I think that's about it.
Try to somewhat mimic the style, the local
Mhm.
style? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do a little,
You
he's
opt
not
for
like a
sort of
great tailor. but-
longer sleeves, a little bit,
Yeah.
longer cloth. It's not obviously the exact thing, but it comes close to where at a glance, at a distance,
Right.
people probably wouldn't even notice.
I think that's it.
Hugs.
Okay.
Imagine when we show her Saxley and Hilay tomorrow. And Winona.
The odds.
She's gonna
Sleep
freak out.
comes to you very slowly. As it doesn't feel like it's been very long. You haven't actually been awake for that long. So it takes a couple of hours for you to even really feel tired enough to sleep. But eventually you do. And you awaken the next morning. Well rested this time, and probably having dreamt the odd dream or two. Soleil,
Yes.
you are awoken with a swelling pressure in the back of your head. Almost there. Where are you?
In the outer city.
Do you have somewhere outside the city we can meet?
I will go there now and tell you then. I don't even have a way to tell him. I've not.
You say that?
I
You'll go outside and tell them then?
I know. I will go outside. Contact me again in an hour.
Okay, you will receive nothing back. But you know that probably went through.
Yeah. I will wake the others. Okay, Nojrat is outside the city.
Oh, right.
I told him to call me again in 1 hour, so we can secure a spot where we could meet him.
I mean, I can set up the mansion pretty quick and then make the door invisible, and
Sure.
that should be pretty safe.
Still, we should take a look. Like, we don't want to do that maybe in front of like a thousand
Oh, yeah, for sure.
caravans that see us and whatnot. Like,
But I'm just saying, like, we don't have to find a.
The mansion sounds like a great place to
As
do
long
the
as we
thing.
find a semi-secluded spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just go out outside the city and just check
Hmm.
the perimeter to see what's going on out there.
Speaking of which, parameters. Need to go check on Evelyn.
I mean, I would try to wake her like all the others.
No, she just probably needs a little, Diamond Dust today. That's
What's going on with her? I mean, yeah, she was angry with the wizards, but this seems even weird for Ablin. She's been very distant.
I don't know if you recall last year. This what happened as well. I don't try to pry. I believe this is. I think this is when Elmore died.
Oh.
First.
Oh.
Yeah.
Alright, then if that's the case, that's totally understandable.
Yeah.
And he will not knock on her door and wait for you to deal with it. It's probably better if Soleil isn't the one who who fucks up her morning. And morning with an O-U, not with just an O.
Damn. So deep.
That's so deep. I'm 14 and this is deep on Reddit.
I'll make her some like tea and breakfast, and go in and wake her, and offer her a nice little hit of the good Diamond Dust and Greater Restoration for
Yeah, as soon as you knock on the door, you hear footsteps and the door open, and you see Evelyn sort of with ruffled hair still, eyes still closed, and a sort of pained grimace on her face.
Good morning. Must have been. Soleil has interesting news, and we need everybody sharp. So here's your tea, and if you don't mind, we'll take care of that hangover right now.
You cast Greater Restoration.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, very quickly the hangover dissipates, and Evelyn is back to her cell.
I don't know
There's
if I
still
needed
a furrowed brow on her face, and you're not entirely sure
Sure.
if it's just general discontent or if her face has just arrested in that way now. After the anger of the past few days. Right, so, news.
We need to head outside the city to see Nordra, who's apparently in the area.
Yeah, let's just give her a
Aerodine.
quick rundown.
Yeah, you explain the situation to Evelyn, who probably has a bit more of a cultural whiplash than you did, as she now steps outside and everything is different. But otherwise she takes the news well, especially that you've left Arcanist. Is there anything you would do first?
Do we want to be?
Don't think there's anything else we want to do before we go outside the city, right?
Probably not.
Do
Yeah.
you
Really
head
know
out
Kira that
on
well.
foot?
Are there other options?
Winona is
I
the
mean-
only other option, I guess. Or wind, but I don't think
The
that's a
guard
good
itself
idea.
is also not necessarily frozen in place.
I think he wanted us to be so.
Yeah, I don't think we
Probably
should.
on foot.
I think on foot would be the safest route, just
Okay,
to not
so
get all
you-
the attention to ourselves.
Is there any particular way you disguise yourself today?
A stay blue
What does
tiger.
that-
Okay.
I would ask Evelyn to also you know, put whatever set out for her.
Yeah, she would. So as a group, you begin to head out. This time without a guide, you follow down the same alleyways you'd gone yesterday until you reach the main road leading straight from the Emerald Gate to what you assume leads outside the city. You wander down the street, and as morning gets going, there is already a lot of busy traffic on the road. Every now and then you have to dodge an oncoming cart. But very quickly, as the distance isn't very far, you leave through a large gate. Here there are also guards to either side, although they seem much less attentive than the guards inside. They hardly even look at you as you exit the city. Before you stretches a somewhat far field of grass that quickly loses itself in a very shallow forest. Along either side, left and right, you see more of the rivers winding and forking. Eventually, you would assume also splitting the forest in front of you. Where are you headed? What are you looking for?
We just look for a place that is like easily describable, but at the same time a little bit off the main road, so nobody else is
You'll
there.
probably wander somewhere off to the side of the main road,
Yeah.
where the rivers, as you sort of already see on the map, split into these smaller rivers and basins that probably are connected to the rivers whenever there is high water, but almost lie like lakes when there isn't. How far roughly do you head away from the city? Very roughly, like in miles.
Like a mile.
Less than a mile, more than a mile, about a mile?
About a mile, I'd say.
Okay. So you head about a mile into this spreading river delta until you reach an offshoot of a larger river that is not traveled, as it sort of ends in a dead end in this small lake, but close enough to one of the larger streams that it should be relatively easily described.
Is there traffic at all here?
You see traffic probably far off on that main branch of the river that continues further on. But the offshoot that you're at, there would be no traffic at all.
I don't know if we even need the mansion. Seems pretty quiet here.
Yeah. Let's wait for Nojra to message me then.
Yeah.
Okay. You wait out the rest of the hour. And as you do, you eventually receive the second sending. Where are you now?
About a mile from the city, a little bit of a side stream. And I guess I'm gonna describe a little bit the surroundings so he knows which one of them it is.
I'm not gonna make you roll on it. Yeah, you roughly describe from the city along the stream where this offshoot to the side is. And it takes probably almost another hour before anything happens. Is there anything you do in that time?
Guess we're gonna hide a little bit if it's possible.
There are plenty of bushes and the edges of a forest nearby for hiding if you would want to do.
In case this is a trap.
What do you mean?
Nothing. Don't want to give you any ideas, Beggar.
Me trap you?
Never.
Never, ever, ever. As about another hour passes, and you probably already start looking around, wondering where Noshran actually is. A small boat branches off from that main flow of traffic and is headed down the canal towards you. Towards that dead end. Anything you do.
Gonna check out the boat to see if I see anyone I know.
You see a couple people on the boat, but from where you currently are, sort of at the edge of the forest. Unless you have a spyglass,
No.
it's difficult to tell. They're all wearing the same wide-brimmed hat that sort of drench the rest of their faces in shadow.
Alright, you guys stay hidden. I say to the other three, and I will just go there and stand there so they can see me in the open, and let's see what happens.
You walk out towards the ship that at this point swerves slightly to get close to the banks of the river at the sides. There's this noise of wood scraping on rocks muffled through the water as it probably gets a little bit too close to the edge and begins scraping upon the ground. At which point 3 figures jump down and head towards you.
Gonna take the dodge action the whole time until they
2 of the figures remove their hats, and for a good moment, you do not recognize them. But you do notice through a almost too much of a stubble you've never seen on him before. Noshran stalking towards you. You see him stride towards you with long steps, closing the distance between the two of you in only a few moments as he smiles and shouts, "Silas!" His arms are already far apart for an embrace.
I miss your ugly mug, my friend.
He pulls you into a tight hug that almost
Just
threatens to push
a little
the air out of
question.
you.
Does he have to roll for the hug because I wear the displacement the cloak of displacement?
Do you consider it a hostile act?
No, just kidding. I was just wondering.
No.
Like, he's just hugging past me. No, I'm just.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just
But
gonna
before
hug
it,
him back.
You know, before the air is pushed out of your lungs, he already releases you from your prison. It's good you are here. Even if you had gotten the first sending on or the runners, I didn't think you'd have been able to get here so soon.
Well, it was quite the journey, but somehow we made it here.
I was hurried to contact you. I figured it would take about a week to get you out here. In truth, I was getting worried, but only because I didn't know how long it would take to even reach you. We do have a window of time, but it's closing slowly. So, to that end, Silas, did anyone see you on the way here?
Me specifically, or our group?
Let's say as you looked back when you worked for Lorana.
No one saw me specifically. I've been in disguise the whole time.
Good. Good. It is a long way, and I'm assuming you went through Antok?
No, we actually had a skyship. And also been at the Arcanum.
Fascinating.
Got teleported here and met the wizards, and it was a journey. And but yeah, it was.
Don't know what you mean about wizards, but
Well,
you have an airship?
have you heard about the Arcanum? The flying.
No.
Okay, that's fine. It's just a wizard city in the sky. But yeah, we have a skyship.
Right. Well, I mean, I haven't seen one since the Blight.
I have never
how
seen
did
one
you get
before,
one.
so it's been new for me.
Well, we spent 6 months underground.
Yeah,
Let me tell ya.
we've well, you
Not
had
like
the whole war thing going on. We spent underground and tried to kind of
You'll
stop the
have
inner
to
war.
tell me about that at some point.
Yeah, it just
But it sounds like a long story.
it's super long. Let's talk about Lorana instead.
People here probably don't know us, but he's looking, Silas. I think Sefja knows you're alive. And he definitely
How?
suspects me being after him.
How does he know?
I don't think he knows. But he's grown paranoid. It's gotten a lot worse. He's almost like the Baron was before his passing,
I guess that's what
which makes
power does to you.
our next step all the more dangerous. I did find her, Silas. I saw her. She is alive. She looked well. But we have a problem.
So you
big one.
you saw her like in real life, or just saw her like in also like a magical vision?
No, yes, I saw her in person.
Oh,
I did not reveal myself, but
I saw her too, but it was more like a magical way, so I was still far away. But that's how I knew she was here.
she is sometimes in Arudai. Frequently. She lives nearby. All that. She's protected by some strong goons, of course, but those would not be an issue, not for us. But we can't just bring her, Silas. Trust me, I would have done so 2 weeks ago.
But why?
Do you know of genies?
I mean, I've heard stories as a child.
They're ghosts, spirit, demons, or a little bit of all of those. I've been learning a bit about them. He has one, Silas. Sefja has enslaved a genie, bound somewhere in an old temple, and it is much more well guarded than Lorana is. You understand what I'm getting at?
We have to take care of the genie first.
Politically, she's his hostage, but she isn't the ace up his sleeve. The genie is. There's different types, some stronger, some weaker, some reasonable, some utterly malevolent. He's got the worst kind, Silas. It can fulfill wishes, and it does so in the worst way possible. I believe he's wished twice already. The Baron, dead. The Khan of the old Khanate, dead. I'd rather not describe how it's been reported they died, or what I imagine it cost Sefja. You can guess why the new Khan is very good friends with him. He has half an army protecting that Jinn. Both were incredibly powerful men. Both were incredibly well protected physically and magically. If we free Lorana and Sefja realizes he's not gonna let her warm, and I don't think there's a thing any of us can do about it. So yes, I think we need to secure his weapon before we bust her out.
I thought it wouldn't be easy, but this sounds very complicated. Where is this genie supposed to be?
Well, I've not spent the last 2 weeks doing nothing. There is an old temple, an old moon well, that is protected by many of the Khanat's men. Some of the serpent riders, which I'm sure you've seen fly across the sky.
Yeah, I've seen those.
What we need, or what we're going to need, are two things. We need some allies, bodies, thugs, soldiers, whatever. The assault on this temple would have to be two-pronged. Partially a distraction. A main force of people we don't need with us. So we, or a small team, can slip into the sanctum at the bottom of the well with minimal engagement. Whoever we can get will engage in a skirmish at the front of the place. Then we fight our way in from the side with a small team. Get to the sanctum, deal with the guards, then the genie. The second problem we face is that someone needs to stand by to get Lorana as soon as the Jinn is taken care of. I don't know what measures Sefja has in place around the genie, but if he's alerted, he might try and do away without the genie. Neither side can fail or we lose her. I know
really
this
hate
is
this.
a lot, but do you trust me?
That I do.
The Jinn should be yours then. I've seen you fight already in the arena, and that was half a year ago. Yours would be the harder part. I believe you'd be the one to pull it off. The temple the genie is imprisoned at is an old moon well, this sort of rectangular cistern built deep into the ground, said to capture starlight, some sort of remnant of an older religion that is no longer worshipped. But it remains sanctified ground, so if you have any undead at your disposal, best leave them. We should begin our search for people soon. I'm sure criminals and mercenaries are easily swayed with coin, but we will need a few more capable men who stand their ground.
I already got an idea actually with that. Just so happens that I have a letter of introduction for a smuggling ring called Blackleaf from one of my contacts. Maybe I can convince them to figure out something, or to kinda, I don't know, smugglers, I don't know, don't seem like fighters, but maybe they have the contacts
No,
we need.
but smugglers are connected.
Yeah,
That is
that's what I
good.
think.
We will need 2 teams in total. We can obviously split them up however we choose. I'll take a few men with me to get Lorana out. Again, her protection is the least. The people you need are the most.
So, your team, Lorana, and my team for the genie.
He nods.
I guess it's decided then. Just have to find the distractions then.
Nosrad pauses for a moment, very clearly taking time to deliberate before speaking again. Do you want to see her? Before we set out to do this.
Of course I do.
She'll be in town tomorrow. I think it'd be good for you. But remember, no matter how you feel when you see her, and believe me, I know how it'll feel, we have to wait.
I will.
You said you had some sort of plan regarding mercenaries.
Well, I wouldn't call it a plan. I have a letter of introduction to at least get in contact with these people, and we've heard from a translator we've hired in the city that most of the bandits and the filth, I would call them, live outside the city in the hills a little bit from here. So it's a place where we could like start finding them and hopefully get like the right contact with the letter.
Let's remember this place here to meet up again. We'll head into the city as well. Look for any hired coin easily found. There should be plenty around the docks. You look for these people you have introductions for. And we'll meet back here in the evening.
Alright.
Before turning around, Nosrad pulls you back into an embrace. Gives you a very firm pat on the shoulder.
Gonna give
Before
him the
turning around
elbow
and-
grip thingy.
Mhm.
I don't know what it's called actually. But yeah, we can do this. We have to.
You see the rest of the people that had gone with Nosrad sort of tying the boat to the side of that stopped river and already start to pull branches and leaves from the forest, probably in an effort to obfuscate the boat's presence. And I would say this is probably a good place to end for as I leave you with what you need to do next and deliberate.
We're joining the bandits.
We're just starting a little civil war here, okay? It's fine.
Dang.
It's fine.
Dealing with another tyrant, it's not big here. It's
Now that we know that the
Please.
Karn is also like kind of connected to the enemy.
Oh yeah, we gotta overthrow this guy, huh? Oof.
And I'm gonna have to see how Emlyn reacts to what you guys just heard. So that's gonna be next time.
Yeah.
There may have been something in that conversation there that may have been of interest. Either which way things will go. Thank you guys so much for session.
Thank you too, Beggar. It was super fun again.
I think we're good for next session as usual. I'll have to, of course, check back with Jess as well. But out of you, nobody has any like things.
Should be fine.
In 2 weeks.
When is next? The 8th? Oh no,
Yeah.
the 7th, yes. It's already...
Yeah, that
past
will be the
midnight, so-
time when I'll be back away for 2 weeks, but I can join via
Okay.
Discord again. So I can't record the session there because I'm back for 2
okay.
weeks in the thingy,
Right. Yes.
in the weight loss
Yeah.
facility.
Okay. Well, hopefully everyone will be there, so we don't need a recorded. So. And then I will see you guys either around or next time. I am actually hungry, so I need to get some food. Thank you guys again for the session. It was
Thank
fun, and I will
Thank
see
you
you guys
too.
next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.